Hi guys, welcome to Palace of the Corn. My name's Stephen Dawes, thank you for joining me. Right, so the game against Bournemouth is of course coming up tomorrow as of recording of this video. And so this is the preview to it, based on Oliver Glasner's pre-match interview. It's going to be a short one because there's no injuries. Apparently he said everyone came back from international duty fully fit, tired I imagine, but fit and able to play and able for selection. Chaddy Rehad and Chet Doucouré of course are still not training with the first team. He was asked about Chaddy Rehad because he did say that he thought he would be playing with the first team this week. However, he said that they did a little bit of testing on him, and they thought that he's not quite ready for the first team. He is training alone on with the physios, but he's not training with the first team yet. But he thinks that after this next run of games he should be able to train with the first team, which is good news because obviously Chaddy Rehad has had a torrid time since he came here, having that serious ACL injury. So hopefully he'll be back training and maybe back on the pitch within the next couple of months, which would be good to see. He was asked about JP, about scoring his goal on his first start for France, which is absolutely fantastic. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy, you know. He really is he just seems to be such a great guy and such an energetic presence in the team, shall we say. And I think that it's great that he's got the call up for France and that he's managed to score a goal. There are those who say he won't go to the tournament at the end of the season, and that he probably won't. If he does go, he won't play. I'm not so sure about that. I think that he understands that he's new to the French first team, and I think that he maybe won't play every game, but I think he will feature because he's a good goal scorer, and I think he's one of those players where he can make something happen. So I think that he will. I think he'll get his chance in the tournament. He was also asked, this is Oliver Glasner, about this whole situation regarding JP and Wilfried Zaha. Now I'm sure you already know about it, and I was in two minds whether to even mention it really. But as Oliver Glasner was asked, I thought I would talk about it. Oliver Glasner said he hasn't spoken to him about it. He hasn't even seen anything about it because he says, I don't talk to my players about social media, otherwise I'd be talking to him 24 hours a day. So he said he hasn't spoken to him about it. He said JP looks really happy and fine, and that's as far as it goes. He doesn't know anything else about it. I think, personally speaking, this is just my personal opinion, I think it's a bit of a storm in a teacup. I think that it was probably just a bit of banter. JP says he said that in a recent interview, what he said was in jest and it was just a bit of fun. You can make whatever you will about Wilfried Zaha's video, but I just think it's a bit of a storm in a teacup, and that it will just all blow over and it will be fine. I don't think it's worth getting too much into it really. But anyway, that's my take on it anyway. But please let me know down in the comment section what you made of it as well, because that'd be interesting to see your views on it too. And apart from that, he was asked about his contracts. Now he was asked about the fact that Steve Parish said there have been early discussions regarding his new contract. Oliver Glasner said that he's spoken to Steve Parish almost every day recently, and he says that we are talking about things. And he said that the interviewer said, well, what is it? He said there were certain conditions which you felt you needed in order to sign. What are those conditions? And he said, well, it's not conditions of Oliver Glasner, it's conditions of the football club. The football club want to continue doing well, and for them to continue doing well, they have to, certain things have to happen, and he feels that if the club can do those certain things, then he'll enter into talks, and if the club feel they can't do those things, he'll still enter into talks. So I think that regardless of what the club decide to do, I think he will talk about a new contract. But I do think that based on what the club decide to do, what he will be basing his future on, because I think that he's absolutely right. He says the club want to continue doing what they've been doing over the last year and a half, and I think that's absolutely right. I think that the club need to be continuing pushing forward. Now, of course, I'm not saying that we're going to win the league next year or anything like that, but as he said, we were, Palace were like 15th to 18th. Now, you know, you may be looking at 10 to 12th. He said, you know, it's about moving forward and pushing on. And I think there's a distinct possibility that we can get ourselves in the top 5 or 6 within the next year or so. And if that is what Oliver Glasner is happy with, then I don't see any reason why we can't push for that. But I guess it all depends on what Steve Parish and the board decide they can do in regards to that. So and that was pretty much it in terms of the interview. So we're none the wiser really on his contract. I think a lot of it does depend on what the club want to do. But let me know down in the comment section what you think about all of this. Please do subscribe if you've got this far. Oh, my prediction, I forgot about that last time out. My prediction. So I think Bournemouth are a little bit of a tough team for us. We don't tend to score goals against them very often, and of course it's after the international break where we do tend to be a little bit lethargic, understandably, after international duty. So I'm not expecting this to be a high scoring game. I think we might nick it 1-0. I think more likely it's going to be 0-0, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm going for 1-0 to Palace. Let me know what your thoughts are on score lines down in the comment section. Subscribe if you've got this far, and I'll see you next time.